Hello, VieTESOL participants, and I am Nguyen from Thanh University, and with my co-author, Ms. Trang from Human University of Education, we have conducted an impact of personalities on intercultural communication competence with investigation on overseas Vietnamese students from the learner perspective. And nowadays, you can see culture has long been playing a critical role in conducting international cooperation of a variety of fields such as trade, banking, tourism, and others sectors. Nonetheless, it is inevitable that cultural identity are often ignored in terms of cross-cultural communication and language teaching and linguistic competence, including grammatical structures and lexical resources, are often concentrated to deliver different utterances and perform an act of desire. And it may lead to the unnaturalness of language utilization. And language is considered the bridge among the culture. However, the process on how people will use the language is strongly affected by their personality. Therefore, we conduct our study to understand the impact of their personalities on the intercultural communication competence of the case study on Vietnamese students who are studying overseas. First of all, for the concepts of the review, and in terms of communicative competence, we have four main types of communicative competence, means the discourse competence, grammatical competence, social linguistic competence, and strategic competence. And to develop into ICC of intercultural communication competence, we have the awareness, the attitude, the skill, and the knowledge. And to understand about this concept, we need to define cultures. Culture is actually a hard to define concept that they perceive from different viewpoints of the researchers, and culture can be understood as the set of attitudes, values, beliefs, behavior shared by a group of people, but with different individuals communicated from one generation to other generation. And culture is transferred from different generations, therefore it represents typical features of that society. And culture also requires the feelings, the acting of some groups of peoples. This notion is more referred to human lifestyle on a frequent basis that most all members often follows. Numerous acts of interaction are referred to be conducted by cultural members who share a number of similarity. Therefore, intercultural communication competence refers to the ability to relate and communicate effectively with other peoples from different cultures and social background. They don't have the same cultural background, the same ethnicity, the same language, and other common experience. Therefore, they need to equip some ability to successfully understand and interact with those people. And culture should be considered the fifth skill in language learning, along with two receptive skills of listening and reading, and two reductive skills of speaking and writing. This depends on the author's ability to build their mindset of the target language, the ways of interact and communicate are broadened toward that culture. And this is also based on the way we apply foreign language into practice to accept and balance the difference of two separate cultural backgrounds. Therefore, the cultures of the communicative approach is widespread, stretching language efficiency and developing the learner's ability to perform specific tasks or function in particular areas of circumstances. When we talk about personality, in personality, we have five main types of personality, and we can understand the personality refer to the kinds of mental ability or mental characteristics of some peoples. And for the first time, the actual version refer to the characteristic of being active, aggressive, impulsive, and sociable. And necrotisms mean they lack the positive psychological adjustment or emotional stability. And in terms of agreeableness, may be about the individual tendency to defer to others, and the openness refer to the concerns of individual in a wide range of interests and intellectuality. And the last one, the conscientiousness, refer to the measurement in which for heights they believe to be more efficient, reliable, responsible, organized, dependent, to root, and prudent. And when our participants, they encounter the intercultural communication competence, they have some misunderstanding that had to do with the cultural shock and with the inappropriate interaction. Therefore, we try to reduce the following research question to understand the factor, the hidden factors on about the impacts of their personalities on their performance in terms of intercultural communication. Therefore, we come up with the following research question. What are the impacts of personalities of overseas Vietnamese learners on the intercultural communicative competence? And we conduct this study on 100 overseas Vietnamese students and with the methods of qualitative. And on those Vietnamese learners, they have the language proficiency from B2 to C1. This is the lowest level to study overseas. And the instrument is about the interview. And after that, we transform the interview and classify the data into some main groups for analysis. And after that, we have this one for the performance and the agreement. It's referred to the attitudes of agreements of the participant towards different kinds of factors they are affected by the personality. The first one refers to confidence and readiness or some like fluency. And you can see from the chart, the readiness accounted for 87% of the agreements from the participant, and the highest one refer to linguistic competence. And the personality is strongly influential on the linguistic competence because when they have some confusion, they cannot fully perform the interaction and they cannot successfully communicate with others. And the lowest percentage belong to the involvement, which means when they are not happy or based on different types of personality, like being extrovert or introvert, they show different degrees of involvement into the communication process. To mention about the confidence, confidence refers to how much they want and how much they're sure about what they want to say. And readiness refers to the mentally prepared to communicate with others. And in terms of willingness, refer to how much they want to or they desire to participate or to get involved. And especially you can see about the figures of openness and fluency. They had the same percentage of agreement at 59%. Openness here refer to the kinds of situation when the participants they try to interact with each other or they refuse to interact with each other. And when the personalities, like some people that are quite introvert and they cannot show the high levels of fluency in communication. And the risk factors in hesitation and involvement. And we have some other factors in terms of the effect of personalities on intercultural communication competence. The first one refers to the culture shock. And the personality affect the interpretation of the meanings for some participants. Therefore, depends on whether the attitudes of the learners are positive or negative. that are correlated to the degrees of experiencing the culture shock in intercultural context. The second one, the miscommunication, which means the misunderstanding in communication among the learners. Because Vietnamese learners and other native speakers, they don't share the same characteristic of communication. Therefore, it may easily lead to misunderstanding, or they don't actually figure out the intended meanings of the speaker. And this one is affected by personality in a way. They try to show some ideas. For example, in Vietnamese cultures, some people they refer to you more indirect expression, while the foreigners they refer to you direct expression. And the next one about the negative attitude. Some people they are quite pessimistic, therefore they show the negative attitude towards communication. They don't want to communicate with others, therefore they're not happy, and the process of communication cannot be successful. And it leads to the low effectiveness in communication. And for the aforementioned findings, we come up with the following implication. And the first one, the intercultural communication should be enhanced among learners. When they study second language, they should enhance their ability to understand or to predict the cultural differences of other people. Don't make assumptions from the personal cultures on the target culture. And the design of the curriculums for this one, for the policymakers, should take the learner personality into account to design different types of curriculums or different approaches that adapt to different groups of learners with different personality traits. And for individualism, they should be more independent and self-regulated to be more competent in communication. And they should raise the positive attitudes among the learners. And we are the learners and the language user. We should have a positive attitude in communicating with other people. And that's the end of our presentation. Because of the lack of time, therefore we cannot talk more. If you can have any question, you can email us at our reverse email. Thank you for your time.